Okay, welcome to my messy basement where I do some of my bigger projects. And this is the chair I found, and it was $8. When you go to the thrift store and you see some nice wooden chairs, grab them because honestly they go like hotcakes. And what you're looking for is a chair that the seat easily pops out, and you turn it over and you can see the screw holes right under here, and they just pop out the seat. So I popped this out. You can see where the screw holes are right here. And that's what you're looking for an easy reupholster project. This is a nice wooden chair. And what we're going to do is we're going to revive the stain a little bit and darken it with this really great product that I've used before on some tables that I'll show you. And then we're going to make this a little cushier because this is not very cushy on the old bum there. So we're going to put some more cushioning here and then quickly reupholster it. You're going to need a carpenter stapler. And save your screws because then you're just going to screw these back in. So you'll have a really nice chair for your room. That's not press board or any funky wood. It's a nice solid wood chair. Chairs now go for like $250 a chair, so that's expensive. So if you can find these at a thrift shop, and if you're lucky to find a whole set of them for a dining room, that is the jackpot. So, so first things first, you're going to pop this out, which I already did, with a screwdriver or a drill. And you're going to just, with soap and water, just clean this. So I'm going to go do that right now. All right, I've wiped this down with just some just soap and water and let it dry. And then this is the product I was talking about. This is called Restor Finish. You don't really have to do much to your piece. And what it does is it brings out the finish again and buffs out a lot of your scratches. And I went a shade darker. I went with mahogany because I was kind of hoping to see if maybe we could richen up the stain a little bit. But it's super, super easy. You just use an old rag. And rub it into the wood. And rub a little harder and work a little bit more on areas that like have scratches or blemishes. And what's great about this stuff, first of all, make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. You know, nothing too enclosed. It is a little bit, there's some fumes happening, that's for sure. And then you don't shellac this. If you want, you can use just a wood wax on top to protect it. So go ahead and finish your whole piece with this. It's up to you what kind of color. It comes in lots of different wood stains. Like I said, I picked something a little darker than what's here. Technically, you're supposed to find the color that matches your piece the closest. But I wanted to kind of darken it up a little bit, so. One thing to mention, you know, as you rub it in, you kind of go over it with a dry cloth to wipe off any excess. And also just make sure to kind of get into all your nooks and crannies. If you don't want to use a rag, you can also use one of those kind of sponge brushes too. You can see already there's a nice shine and it looks richer. know if you can see this or remember how it looked before, but look at that shine. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So this is all pretty well covered. And now what you do is you wait about 30 minutes if you're going to put a wax finish on this. If it's a chair like for the kitchen or the dining room and it's going to get a lot of wear and tear, I would suggest, you know, taking that extra step to put a wax seal on it. This is just a little accent chair for the bedroom. Honestly, I'm not going to go to the trouble. I think it'll be fine. So we're going to move on to the seat. All right, so this is my fabric and I've laid it down and I'm putting this on top, and it's kind of like, think about wrapping a present, and keep in mind where your holes are. You can cover them. It's, you know, just more difficult because then you've got to kind of drill through the new fabric. So if that happens, which it may happen here, I don't know, I'm going to try not to do that. But the screw holes are awfully close to the end, so it might be a little precarious. So figure out how much fabric you're going to need and cut. And if you're adding more cush, like I'm going to do, you're going to need some polyfill or some upholstery styrofoam. I am going to try doing this with some polyfill. Let's give that a shot. And you're just going to lay it right on top. Sometimes, and I may do this, is I might staple one side in place first. Possibly this one, just to make things go a little faster and hold things in place. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to grab my stapler. So like I said, I'm going to try to avoid my holes. Here's my, it's actually my husband's staple gun. And just set that right there. Okay, so that's one side. Now I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to polyfill and then wrap it over. Okay, I took some polyfill from an old seat cushion that I had that I was going to throw away, and decided rather than throwing it away, one more thing in the landfills, I just decided to take the polyfill and use that as my seat cushion. Now, it might be a little lumpy, but as people sit on it and it settles in, it'll be fine. Plus, you're going to do this really nice and tight, so that'll also help. So, wrap your fabric over, and like I said, go nice and tight. Now, before I continue on that side, just want to make sure everything gets nice and tucked in. Now I'm just missing those holes, which is awesome. Oh, that one didn't go in that great. Okay, now, like as if you're wrapping a present or even making your bed, you want a corner. Do you see what I did there? I kind of took this flap in and this flap down, and you have a nice corner. Hold that corner down. Now you can see I'm covering that hole, right? So I'm going to put another piece in there, and then I'm going to trim away this flap just so my drill can get in there. At this point, do your corners next, and then you can continue on the other sides. Okay, once you've got your corners, kind of do a gut check up front. And, you know, because I chose stripes, stripes are not as forgiving as other fabrics. So, meaning, this is what I mean. If I pull too far this way, I'm going to get like some funky movement that way. So you're going to try to use the same tension on both sides so that you have a nice even cushion. So once you figure out what kind of tension you're looking for, hold on to one side, flip over, get your stapler, and there you go. And continue on. All right, I finished all the stapling. And yes, it looks like a hot mess on the back, but that doesn't matter because we're flipping it over. Now it's going to be a little bit more snug than it was previously because of the staples and the cushioning and the fabric. But make sure you got it flush, so get some elbow grease and get it in there. And next thing, we got to get our screws, and basically, let me flip this over for a sec so I can show you. Okay. There's the holes where the screws were originally. So you just gotta just kind of drill them in there. So let me go get my drill. All right, you're in the final leg of this super, super easy project, and that's time to screw the seat back in. So you've saved your screws, and you see your holes, and you've got, it's a lot easier if you can get some power behind you. But if you don't have a drill, just use an old screwdriver. That should work, but it'll take a little bit longer. And also, so you can see I've turned this upside down, and it's good to have this upside down and on something sturdy. This right now is on like the basement couch, and you just want to be able to get some tension and a flat surface so you can really get these in there. And there you go. So keep going on all four sides. And try not to strip the screw, which is kind of what I was doing just now. Shh, don't tell my husband. There it is. Shiny, clean, and really cushy. Let's go put it up in the bedroom and see how it looks. There, cozy little nook. So that concludes today's Fridays with Flora. Just an easy couple-hour project. Join me next week for our next adventure. Ciao.